Hello everybody, this is Bike Blast. Here I am on production line, and what I thought I'd do is give you a little update and see where we're at with this game. Let me just see if I can explain what's going on. So what you get is a factory floor, and obviously there's new bits that you can unlock over there to expand the factory. But basically I've got a production facility that starts here with these red bits. Okay, and these are making cars, or they're making the basic chassis of the car. They then go into this bit, which is adding the body, and then this bit's painting it, and then this bit here is adding things like the exhaust, the engine, wheels, steering assembly, and then down here we've got other bits like the ancillaries, windscreens, seats, lights, horn, and electronics, and then up here we've got quality check and then a reworking area for fixing defects, and then they go off to the showroom where they get sold. So as you can see, we can zoom out quite a bit, which gives you the advantage of being able to see where all the cars are. So you can see here we've got different coloured vehicles, one there, one there, one there, one there, and it basically means that anything in yellow is waiting, anything in red is being anything in green is being worked on, anything in red is there's a problem with it. So at the moment we're missing something there, and I need to come back to that in a second. But it gives you a good overview, and it lets you know where things are being held up. So obviously I've got a roadblock here, but also this one as well. So this particular area, this red area, makes a chassis, and then it goes into two separate lines. So this one's stopped because this car, there's a problem with it. This one's carrying on. Now that one's stopped as well because of the open top. I think what I need to do is sort that out now. Let's just change the schedule. Let's get rid of the spider for a second, and we'll see if we can vehicle. Can I get rid of that vehicle? I don't think I can. So what's that? What have we built there? Body frame. So it's after body frame. Just bear with me. We can just do a body frame thing. Let's just build that for a second. I haven't got the money to build another one, but that should work. Just bear with us. How much is that? 105,000. All right, I'll have to wait a little minute until I can afford that. Right. So when you zoom out, you get a good view of what's been delayed, what's working well. So, for example, this area, this blue area, is doing quite well. Everything that comes into it is moving quickly enough. Whereas this orange area, it seems to be moving fairly well. Apart from this last section, it seems to be just holding a couple up. All the others, we've got green, green, green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas in there. And this last one seems to be holding things up. Same with the painting area. This is working quite well. You can see that there's vehicles in different parts of it. None of them are being held up. Whereas down at this area, there is quite a bit of hold up. And now I can afford the next bit here. Just bear with me. Where's the fit body? Oh, hang on, what is it? What is it I'm building? After body frame. It's roof. It's fit roof. So I've got two body frames there, haven't I? Full fit roof. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so what happens when we start the game? So when you start the game, you're given a basic area, so a chassis assemble area, which looks like this. Okay, so let's just rotate that. No, let's not rotate it. Let's rotate it that way. See, that's a basic area. I'll just show you this, and it sets off, and this will manufacture a body. Now it won't actually do it because it hasn't got any spare parts, but you can then tell it which car to make. So I've got currently, you start off with a sedan, but you can then research some other vehicles and things like that. I'll come to that in a moment. But once you've been there a while, you can do some research and you can expand this area. So instead of it being a normal chassis assemble area, you can then make that into separate components. So instead of it all being done in one area, it's done in 3 different areas. So you can do the axles, you can do the undercarriage, and then you can do the fuel tank, which means that you can then separate things out. So in much the same way, the painting area used to be all one big shed like that, which did everything. Now it's separated into 4. So there's an undercoat, drying the undercoat, painting the finish, and then drying the finish. So you can separate it out so that you can get rid of these traffic jams. The other thing you can do to get rid of the traffic jams is to put more robots in. So in an area like this, you can select upgrades and put extra robots in, for example, to make that area go faster. So that's one way of streamlining things. You can, of course, make multiple lines. So whereas this particular chassis building area goes into 1 production line, this chassis building area goes into 2 production lines. It splits here, left and right, so some go that way and some go that way. And of course, close up, I mean, you get the lovely animations, but it is quite difficult to see. Now we've researched something, so bear with us. I'll come back to that in a moment. You can make it all out, and if you can zoom in quite a lot as well. So you can see the things being done. You can see it making the chassis. You can see the various spare parts waiting on the pallets at the side. It's all good. It'd be nice if you had the staff moving around, and in fact it'd be nice if you could hire and fire staff and maybe have it like a staff room that they go to and things like that. But yeah, that's it really. So there are ways of maximising your car throughput, which I'll come back to in a moment. We can also do some research. So these are research offices. So I've got 5 research offices sat down here, and they are doing the research. So there are 2 bits of research you can do. There are technologies. So these are things that you can put onto the car, things like anti-lock brakes, parking sensors, tyre pressure sensors, airbags, that sort of thing. And you need to research each one and unlock them. I think the dollar values on the side indicate whether the competition are actually building those things. So it looks like nobody has researched lane departure warning, but it says that power steering is now used on luxury cars, expensive cars, mid-range cars, and not really on budgets. It's very, very rare on a budget car. Whereas auto-steer headlights at the moment are only on luxury cars. Okay, now I'm not actually doing very well on that. This is my research queue of the things I want them to research. If I want them to go faster, I build more research offices. So I am actually going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this design studio, because the design studio does something slightly different. So let me go back to this. I'm sorry, I missed out a little bit. So there's also, apart from the technologies, there's processes. So the processes are to do with the factory. So it's whether you can get things like factory expansion, whether you get marketing departments or QA or export specialization, fixing defects, different body designs, all sorts of things like that. Up this end you get different things like the high pressure paint nozzles. So once you've researched that, you can then go into the technologies that might need that. So it might be that you've got, for example, exhaust manufacture here. So yeah, on this particular screen, you can research other things like powertrain manufacture, radiator manufacture, so that you're actually building the items yourself. In factory, so getting the raw materials and then building the actual bits yourself, but also things like high pressure paint nozzles, so you can make better paint with the polished paint work. You can go faster on certain things, so there's all sorts in there. There's lots and lots of different things. So for example, I just had a car that was waiting for a panoramic sunroof. I haven't researched them yet, so we could add that to the queue. we could add that to the queue. Be no good doing that one in front of the other, will it? So we can do all this. Okay. Good. The third bit on here is car designs. So this is when you have your design area, design studio, and they just look at different car designs. So at the moment I've researched SUVs, compacts, pickup trucks, sports with an open top, although I haven't researched the actual sunroof yet, small vans, and then there's other little accessories that go in, so leather seats, red leather seats, different types of noses, different types of wheels and that sort of thing. It looks like there's a room for an awful lot more on there. There's not an awful lot in that at the moment. But the guys are working away in the design studios. So these guys do the first two sections. So they do technologies and processes. And the third section, the car designs, is done by these design studios. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this studio. Just right click it to get rid of it. And I'm going to build some more research offices. Okay. So we're going to do facilities, research offices. I'm going to put these guys in here so they will research things much faster. There's a little gap there for, I don't know, some coffee machines or something, I don't know. But they will research much quicker. So, what else can we do in this game that we've got here? There's a TV set there, which is for TV advertising, which we haven't got to yet. This bit shows my car stocks, so you can see all the cars that are in the showroom. The fact that all the yellow cars, all my sedans are in there, would suggest that they're not selling very well, and maybe they're a little overpriced. So I'll come to that in a second. Well, in fact, let's reduce that now. I can click on it, and I can reduce it to maybe 21 grand, and it now tells you what profit you get for the car and how much it costs for all the bits, where all the money's going. You can change things like the colour of the car, or you could have it even two colours. So you might have yellow and orange, or yellow, orange, blue. You can have as many colours as you want. At the moment I've only got my sedans as yellow, and the reason being is I find it easier to see them going through the factory. So if I look at my cars in the factory, I can see where the sedans are because they're the yellow ones. I can see my sports cars because they're red, my vans are blue, and my pickups are green. My SUVs are orange. So I can see where everything is and what it is. So going back to that, it looks like they're probably overpriced. I've just reduced the price. It looks like there's a few with defects on, so we're not picking up defects. So there's something wrong with the paint finish on that one. This one's got failed a performance check. No idea what that is, performance check. But the fact is as well, the other vehicles seem to be selling pretty quick. So when I get a van in, or an SUV, or a sports car, they're going pretty quickly. So there's a good chance I could probably increase the pricing on those. You can have a look at things like the market. So it tells you what we've got here. This is these are all in the budget range. I've got a sports car in the mid-range. The expensive range was a sedan. Oh, that's interesting. I need to get rid of that. Yeah, you can look at things like market analysis, so you can see all this. There's lots and lots of information in it. Customer sales, SUV, sports luxury, and it's telling you where all the money is. And you can also look at discounts for things like uninstalled features, Carlex universal features, and things like that. So you can make discounts on the cars, so that even the ones that are defect you can sell. That's pretty good. So this is the section now to make your own car. So there's not a great deal of design choice here, but you can change things. So let's have a look at my sports cars. So I have a sports car here, and I could create a similar model. So I could maybe, so this is the one with the solid roof. Okay, I've got a sports one with an open top roof, which For some reason it didn't build it. Wouldn't build these because these need an open top, and I haven't quite done the research properly before I built it. So let's have a look at creating a car. I'll show you how easy it is. So let's say I wanted to do an SUV. I can create a similar model. Blah, blah. So that's it. This is my SUV copy. I can rename it and we'll call it the demo model. You can change the price of it. Let's make it a luxury thing. We can put unresearched features, we can put those on. So automatic windscreen wipers, and it goes straight to the screen where you can research them. So you can add all these things in. So sunroof, automatic windscreen wipers, and as you get more things, you can add more things into there. I can change the colour that it's made. I can make it several colours. So we've not selected a colour on this particular one, so it will make different colours of it if I decide to make it. We can make it in silver as well and put more things on, I think. Yeah, sunroof and things there. Got all sorts. So that's where you do that. Let's archive that model because I don't want to do that. And let's get rid of that as well because that one shouldn't get built either. So there you go. That's making the cars. So once you've decided to make a car, if you select the very first section of your factory, you can then change the schedule. And then we could add in, let's say, the sports car. We could add that in, and you could say, right, make 4 of those for every one of those that you make. So it'll do one of those, and then 4 of those. And then you go back to the top. So that's how that works. Let's not bother with that. It might make 1. They seem to be selling quite well. As I said, you can click upgrades. So we can build extra robots on there to make them faster. And I've still got some bits to research on that. You can make faster resource conveyors, so I haven't mentioned these yet. So each of your sections has an area where it can store the parts, like these here. So these are axles that have been imported from someone, and each of the imports comes in through one of these resource importers. Now there's several around the building. I've got one over here, one down here, one up here, and one here, and you can see them flashing when things are coming in, so you know what's coming in. And that's a big conveyor system, and it goes to all of these various storage areas. So there's materials. You can also see occasionally a yellow flash when it says awaiting resources. So you know which bits are maybe not doing. So there you go, waiting for resources. So that one's waiting, and in fact if you click on the area, it'll tell you how long it's been running, that area, how long it's been waiting for resources, and how long it's waiting for the next vehicle. So pretty much no time at all waiting for resources or next vehicle. The area is working at good efficiency. It's got it all in there. And that's it really. Since the last time I played it, it hasn't progressed that much. It really hasn't. We've got new cars. There's lots of different cars in there, and I like the fact that there's different models and you can make them. I kind of like it that you had to make them on separate. I don't know what you call this. A conveyor line, separate production line. So maybe you could send them through the same bits further down, but certainly the paint you could probably do all the vehicles in. But the manufacture of the bodies, you should have to do it on separate lines, I think. I'd like to see something more with the staff, because we don't hire staff or fire them, or they don't go off for breaks. There's none of that. It's more to do with just making the cars. But you can easily change things. So let's look at this bit here. So the steering assembly is the slowest bit on this. Okay, so we're having a few problems with that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's build steering assembly. So where's steering assembly? That's in this bit, isn't it? Steering assembly. I can actually put... Right, let's just rotate it. No, not yet, thank you. Let's just rotate it. There we go. I can fit one in there. Although I can't. I can fit one in there. And I can fit one in... I can fit one there, actually. In fact, I can fit one there. put 2 in like that. So this conveyor now will go this way, into there, and then back down there. And now this will also go this way, through there, and then that way. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the bit in the middle. It's saying that there's the stockpiles aren't connected, so let's go on to conveyor. And you can see that's a stockpile, that's a stockpile. None of them are connected up. There we go. They are now connected. So what you'll see now is the cars separating here, getting made in these 2 areas and then sent through. So we're waiting for resources. That'll sort itself out now. There we go. Now the building. You'll notice that each of them is set off with 2 robots, 1 on each side. We can increase the robots by upgrading, so we can buy extra robots 2 or extra robots 3, depending on whether there's still going to be a queue here. Now don't forget that we've actually built 2 of these now, so this should go twice as fast as the old one used to. So it might be that we see a backlog up here. It might be that there's still a backlog here and I can make the robots go faster or things like that. You get messages as well down here from various other things. So rival companies of research cruise control. You get messages off the COO as well, telling you various bits about the factory and what you can improve and things like that. There's other bits about factory statistics, conveyor speeds, importer speeds, number of employees, although you don't actually do anything about that. Production slots, so waiting for next vehicle. This one's waiting for the next slot, so hopefully that'll improve. Now that just shrank. Running, so running's great. Waiting's not good. Waiting for the vehicle's not good. You can look at the components and how many we buy and how many we've got. And the features on the various cars. So there you go. In fact, I don't think we've got automatic heaters or radios in any of my cars. So that's it. So the game hasn't progressed much, but I have enjoyed playing it. It's funny, you know. I sort of, you get that wanting to make it the best you can sort of feeling. So I haven't done that yet. I've still got issues down here where it's really busy and I need to separate these again. So where I'm going on to 2 conveyors here, maybe I need to go on to 3 for each of these manufacturing processes. I don't know. Maybe I could get rid of that and just use this one to run all 3 lines. Although I do actually need to make this into another. I need 4 here. And also it's fitting them in. So in the same way that I put these 2 next to each other, I could have offset them slightly so they integrated together. So you're using a lot less space. All these blue ones are all separated a little bit. I could integrate those a bit better. See how this orange one's all together? You can do that, but also you can mix and match with these bits. So on this conveyor, I've got body frame there, but on this one I've got it slightly further up. I could have brought it further down and tucked it in around the corner there, so it uses a lot less space. So there's a lot of that in the game, and it's all about when you get, for example, door specialization. You look at the area that puts the doors on, and where's that? Seats, windscreens, dashboards, horn, lights. Where are the doors? Where's my doors? Steering. I don't know where the doors are. Where are the doors? There you go, door assembly. So it'll mean now, instead of this one section here, I could probably put door panels, windows and wing mirrors on separately. So instead of that one section, I could put 3 different sections on that will all work a bit faster. Look, we've got a queue here now. This is where we're queued up. So can we improve the speed on this? No, we're already at full speed. So either I need to separate this out or I need to research faster robots or something there. We've also got a backlog here because things are going through faster. We're now getting a backlog up there. So it's all about fiddling about with each of the processes, getting it all right, making sure that things are working the way you want them to. And it's enjoyable. It's not come on as much as I thought it would. It's quite slow in progressing, but it does seem to be going in the right direction. I'll be back with the game in another couple of months just to have a look at it and see what's going on. But for now, that's Production Line. My name's Backblast. I'll see you next time.